Well, out come Huddersfield. They believe they have got the monkey off their back with the win against the Crusaders last week. They are the underdogs, so the pressure's off them. Can they repeat their 18 points to 16 win at Wigan last month? They have taken over Warrington's Jekyll and Hyde tag, but it's a do or die tonight, and it really is a close game to call. But Warrington have got the knockout football experience behind them. 2 Challenge Cup successes in successive years. They've yet to win a playoff game on home soil, though. Their only previous playoff tie here was in 2005 against Hull, and they were beaten by 40 points to 6. Home form should give them a degree of confidence, though. Only Wigan, St Helens and Leeds. Funny enough, the rest of the top 4 have won here in 2010. Good crowd in. They think they're on the way to Old Trafford, but Luke Robinson and company think that they can deny them, and Robinson is certainly one of the key men. Phil Bentham is the big match referee. Huddersfield disappointed in the playoffs last year. Injury hint, they were running on empty, really. They lost at St Helens week 1, lost at Hull, at home rather, to Catalan Dragons week 2. Can they get it better this time? Brough picks up the kick-off. Here is Brett Hodgson. Welcome to the Halliwell Jones Stadium, Brett Hodgson. That was a big hit by Louis Anderson.
Certainly was. I mean, business, and it's lifted up there. Could have been a penalty. Look at this, bang. Great shoulder hit.
So Huddersfield will look to try and get some momentum going early. This is Daryl Griffin.
And I think they'll try to go right down the middle, Eddie. They realise that the likes of Mason, Daryl Griffin, Palongo, Kermon, and of course Stephen Wilde at loose forward. They've got to play it tight, and they've got to rely on some good kicking game as well from the likes of Danny Brough and Luke Robinson.
Great run from David Falongo. Last tackle, Robinson at dummy half. Here is Danny Brough. He will drift it between Chris Riley and Richie Mathers.
Great chase.
It is a very good chase.
Not a bad hit from Falongo either.
Richie Mathers playing his last appearance at the Halliwell Jones Stadium in the colours of the Warrington Wolves. And he is tackled eventually by Mason and Robinson.
Knocked on.
He's knocked on, he has knocked on. Was he pushed? He's lost a bit of blood in the nose. You said, Steve-O, it would be a little bit hectic.
Well, there's a build-up from there. You can see that Mason has added the weight. Robinson made the first impact, and he just lost control over it.
And that's one of the things Huddersfield are going to have to do. They're going to have to be physical. They know that the real strength of this Warrington team is in the forward pack. I know you've talked about it. Huddersfield will want to put a real marker down, and Richie Mathers being the first recipient of that marker.
Well, there's blood from the nose, and a little knock of the hand by Luke Robinson just dislodged the ball from Richie Mathers' grasp.
I think it was a knee, actually, of Luke Robinson as he was pulling away. I think it made contact with the nose.
Well, it's a great opportunity here for Huddersfield early. Another drive in by Daryl Griffin. Formerly with Wakefield, helped them to the playoffs in 2004. Here is Luke Robinson, gets a short ball away.
Great tackle by King, had to be as well.
Robinson again, ball in field to Mason. Warrington defending their try line early here. Don't want to concede an early try to the Huddersfield Giants. Robinson finds Kevin Brown, pops it up to Stephen Wilde. Stephen Wilde will score for Huddersfield. Stephen Wilde, the 70th try of his career, and what a start for the Huddersfield Giants here at the home of the Challenge Cup winners. Knock on by Richie Mathers has proved expensive from the scrum. 2 or 3 tackles later, they're over in the shape of Stephen Wilde.
This is the incident. You can see there that Robinson, and he caught him with the knee as well. Mathers didn't like it, but from that position, watch the beautiful pass from Kevin Brown. Back on the inside. See how the defence just drifted across. Left a huge hole. I think you'll find it's Clark that's gone too far over, and it left the gap for Wilde to send the supporters Wilde from over the Pennines. What a start by the Giants. Big mistake though by the full-back Richie Mathers.
So the first point on the board to Huddersfield, just the start that they would want coming into this match. They won 7 and lost 6 away games this year. They won the last 2 at Wigan and the Catalan Dragons. They've come into the playoffs bang in form. And Brett Hodgson here now with the opportunity to add the extras to the Stephen Wild try. This for the perfect start. And the perfect start it is. 6-0 to Huddersfield.
They just got caught napping in Warrington. You can see that man arrow. And that is John Clark. He's gone far too wide. Left the gap. And the loose forward, Stephen Wild, has scored. There's a claret coming out of the nose of the fullback, Richie Mathers.
So, Warrington kick-off. Hodgson underneath the kick-off. Here comes Keith Mason. Louis Anderson went for him.
And he got him. It was a big hit. Fair play to Mason, though. Just got up, played the ball.
Falongo will play it. And this now is Darryl Griffin again. Back it comes to Danny Brough, and Brough tries a 40-20 early.
10 metres, lads.
It doesn't make the 40-20, but it does make the sideline.
So important, isn't he? Danny Brough. If his kicking game is on song today, it could have this Warrington outfit turning back and around time and time again. That's what they're trying to do. Play most of the game in their half. Tony Smith, of course, is he'll be stunned by that early try, but he knows he has the firepower out there. You look through this Warrington outfit and the combination of Breers and Monaghan. It is one of the best halfback combinations we've got in Super League. Will they get plenty of time to utilise it?
They're at home for the first time since winning the Challenge Cup. The last home game was on August the 20th when they beat Hull here by 36 points to 18. But Huddersfield are up for the challenge. Morley not making too many metres forward. John Clark is in at dummy half. And here is Gareth Carvell taking on the smallest man on the field, Luke Robinson, who sticks to him like glue. A little bit of help coming in from Gilmore and Falongo as well. Now Breers goes for a 40-20, but he hasn't got the angle right.
Gone very early. That was only on the third, but it's a great kick.
It is a great
kick.
kick.
Oh, he didn't make it.
Hodgson does brilliantly well, though.
Well, he got himself into a huge hole there, but he found a ladder to get out of it. What a great step. But it was a wonderful kick. Just didn't go. Oh, great stuff.
And here come the Giants again, trying to run the ball out from their own line. Mason plays the ball there to Robinson. Another drive forward. I think the forwards are setting the agenda here tonight for Huddersfield. Here's David Falongo.
It's something I anticipated, Eddie. They know that they can't match this three-quarter line that Warrington have.
40 clear.
It's on the last. It's not a bad one as well.
Decent kick, but it's picked up by Richie Mathers, close to his own posts. And Leroy Cudjoe, Michael Lawrence in there quickly to bring him to ground. Ryan Atkins, the dummy half for Warrington here. Same two with a bit of help from Stephen Wild.
Well, even though the Giants were a little bit off song last weekend. Oh, that's a silly penalty to give away. Lawrence is saying that he was held back. His arm was trapped, but quite a few players, they don't do enough quickly enough to try to get themselves away.
6.5 minutes gone. First penalty of the match we've just seen.
Well, Ryan Atkins has had excellent games when he's played against Huddersfield this year, Eddie. There's a threat, as I've said. Him and Matt King over on the far side of the field. Well, they've got to deal with Louis Anderson on this play.
Anderson driving it in on the first tackle. John Clark waiting at dummy half, looks and finds Adrian Morley. Morley gets the ball away to Clark. Clark then infield to Carvell. Robinson was the first man in. He dumps it down, does Carvell to Clark. Here is Monaghan. Back it goes to Louis Anderson. Kevin Brown is there to deal with the threat from the Kiwi international. Clark dummy half again for Warrington. Finds Lee Breers. Breers bullets the pass wide and finds Matt King. This is where Warrington made hay last week against the Saints early, and they've got the tackle sound wiped down.
Well, surely did King either went for a kick, not deemed as a knock-on. I think he did go for the kick.
This is Westwood for Warrington. They're 10 metres away. Another set of 6 here. And Morley on the charge. Can he get the arms free and offload again? No, he can't. Down he goes on tackle number 3. 9 metres away from the line, though. Clark finds Monaghan, and Monaghan looks for the runners. It's Louis Anderson. Back it goes. That's a good tackle on Vinnie Anderson by Leroy Cudjoe. Michael Monaghan. Louis Anderson trying to tiptoe his way through the line. Last tackle coming up here for Warrington. They're all lined up down the right-hand side. Will probably go that way and does. To Monaghan, then to Breers. Breers with a kick into the corner. Hodgson is underneath this. The ball has been dropped. It could be a try here. It could be a try for Chris Hicks.
Well, they've got to decide who it came off. Hicks is in front of a Warrington player and a Huddersfield player. They're going for it. It's a good way to kick. Now, is he onside? I think they're okay. I think the back foot, both on the centre, is behind him. Now they do get to hand to it. Oh, this is going to be very difficult. I think Hodgson, David Hodgson, has a knockback of the ball, but then does King get a hand to this, or does it hit his body?
I think he has it and loses it.
Yeah, that's going to be deemed as a knock-on, surely, because King
climbs above everybody else.
Yeah, and gets to it first. So therefore, it hits him on the body, and that has to be classified as a knock-on, as far as I'm concerned. I am not the video referee. Ian Smith has got to decide that. But I think you'd have to say that King had every opportunity to get to that, and the ball has been put forward.
Is Hicks offside?
I think he is. I think that's what they're trying to... How the restart of this game.
Can you be offside in the in-goal area? I don't think... Sorry, that's in your own in-goal, of course, yeah. The opposite. They've looked at the grounding. It's a worrying sign of your Huddersfield fans behind the post.
Well, Matt King touched that first, and then it came off David Hodgson, surely.
Yeah, I think it should be a penalty to the Giants, but we'll have to wait and see.
No try. It's chalked off.
Steve-O, you talked about the battle of the 3 quarters. Lee Gilmore's moved out to the centre. He's no doubt going to have on his job sheet for this week, look after Matt King. Physically, you have to aim up to Matt King. Obviously, you've seen from that passage of play, he's very, very good in the air, good with the ball in his hands.
Lee Gilmore was underneath Matt King as well. Did you notice? He was shielding David Hodgson. The Warrington coach doesn't agree with the decision of the video referee. But when he looks at it and reviews it later, I think you'll see he got it right. This is Robinson.
Oh, he couldn't get it away. He should have as well. Brett Hodgson was there screaming for it on the inside.
Warrington's defence is like a dog's hind leg. Here is Brett Hodgson. Hodgson showed it to Wild and goes on his own. He's brought to ground by Michael Monaghan on the last. Robinson at dummy half. Now it's with Brough, and Brough will dink it over the top, turning the Warrington defence round. Breers to the rescue.
Good position as well by Lee Breers, had to be. But the kicking game from Danny Brough is very, very good indeed, but the defence from the Giants is strong.
6-0 Huddersfield Giants lead. They've made massive strides as a club, haven't they, since gaining promotion under Tony Smith, by the way, 8 years ago, 2002. 2006 Challenge Cup final, the playoffs in 2007. Third in 2009 with another Challenge Cup appearance. Nathan Brown, Coach of the Year. They look to be imploding in May and June of 2010 when Brown said he was going home. Then he changed his mind, and the whole course of history at the Giants has turned around, and here they are with the chance of getting to within 80 minutes of Old Trafford. The kick from Breers isn't the best. It finds Brett Hodgson, who gives it to David Hodgson.
It was off his left foot though, Eddie. Just
I was just thinking the same thing, Phil. Yeah, he's a right-footed kicker. Yeah, he's got some skills
to change.
To be fair, it was great pressure from Luke Robinson that made him do the step before he got the kick away.
There's the phone numbers and the websites that you might need for information about the grand final, which these two sides have designs on being at.
Well, that was stripped away. No doubt in my mind that Anderson got fingertips to it. That's what the big fella Keith Mason is saying to Phil Bentham, saying, well, that was stripped away. Not according to the man with the whistle.
One of the things I like about playoff rugby league is the intensity and how it lifts, and players have a different mind shift. They run harder, they hit harder, because for both of these teams, There is no tomorrow, there's no next week, and they really are desperate in defence.
Keith Mason back after a 3-match suspension. I'm looking along the line here. I don't know who to ask really about how that will affect people. Barry, you might be the best qualified to talk about that, coming back after a long suspension.
It's
difficult.
Very, very difficult, yeah.
Mathers tried to make amends for the earlier mistake. I've never seen you lost for words before.
No, well, I haven't been suspended for a while either, so...
Well, you've got a better memory than that, surely.
You never came back from a 3-game ban, though, did you? That was far too short.
No, that's pitiful, that.
This is John Clark and Breers. And Breers stabs it to the in-goal area. And they take the gamble and let that one go dead.
How cool was that by Brett Hodgson?
Well, he was cool earlier and didn't get away with it. He was cool again. This looked as though he was going to stick in goal as well.
But look how he's just shielded it all the way across.
I think he may have had a call from David Hodgson behind him, saying that he had plenty of time.
I think the biggest problem for the Warrington coach, Tony Smith, is the fact that they're not getting over the advantage line with their forwards. That's how strong the Giants' defence is so far. Only 12 minutes into this game. Still a long, long way to go. But there's been a couple of breaks by the Giants.
Robinson comes up the middle. Luke Robinson to the halfway line on tackle number 4. Brough is in this time. Brough looking to kick. Hounded down by Clark, but that's great work from Danny Brough. Great footwork from Brough. He's got support here from Kermond. And Kermond will get there for the Huddersfield Giants.
Boy, he made a meal of it, but he got there in the end to the delight of his coach, Nathan Brown.
Well, Danny Kermond has come back from a loan spell at Wakefield. He was there as part of the Danny Brough deal that brought Brough the other direction, and Danny Kermond recalled back from his loan spell there, and that's his first try for Huddersfield in 2010, and he tied the Warrington defence. All ends up there. They had no answer to him, and what a run from Brough it was.
Well, it looked as though he was going to shape the kick, and look, they just held off. Anybody want me? No. Super stuff. Hodgson whipped away. Kermond, sorry, has stepped his way through. I thought he'd blown it. Warrington's defence just stood there. Carvel pointed, and that was about it. Great support play. I thought, oh, he's just blown it here. Riley couldn't do it.
You know, that try might be a perfect example of why Nathan Brown wanted to bring Danny Brough to the Huddersfield Giants. They needed a player with individual brilliance who could create a try in a playoff game. Last year they struggled to score in the playoffs. This year here tonight they've already scored twice in this game. And Danny Brough's individual brilliance, his ability to read and react to a situation, has put this side with a second score.
Danny Kermond, 24 years of age. His first appearance for Huddersfield in 12 months last week, and he's just come up with his first try on his return. Now, can Brett Hodgson add the extras? And yes, he can. And the Giants have built a 12-0 lead here. And the form book is going out of the window.
Look, 3 in such a small space. And the prop Carvel, he just looked in complete amazement. Step, went too high, got away with it. Kermond tried, 12-0, to the delight of this man.
David Hodgson's underneath the kick-off from Breers. They're playing with some pace, the Giants as well, aren't they? They're playing with vim and vigour, but they're playing with pace.
Well, I made the point, Eddie, before the kick-off in regards to that Nathan Brown and the players, they realised they were not really up for it last week. They got away with it. But the one thing that they could look at was the fact that their defence was solid. Hardly any clean breaks from the Crusaders last week. So that was something that they built on, but they have come out with a lot more fire than the Wolves at the moment.
Well, if Warrington want to, and their supporters want to remember what happened last week, they'll know that they built a 2-try lead early, and we all know what happened then. That's a good tackle by Monaghan on Michael Lawrence. There is Leroy Codjoe, and this now is Brough, and he just dumps that ball into touch. Just turns Warrington around. It was on the last tackle. Nothing fancy there from Danny Brough.
He's on song. And when he's in this mood, and boy, this guy did well. Lawrence, how on earth did he not go into touch there? let's just play down in the opposition into their red zone, force the issue, and the way they're defending, they could come up with the error.
The arm wrestle is very important in playoffs. You need to take some juice out of the tank of your opposition. Huddersfield will know that Warrington have a tendency to play. They don't die wondering with the ball. They offload it, they play, they're free-flowing. Whether they've changed that coming into this game, I think I'm with you, Phil. I think the coaching staff have told them, let's be a little bit more conservative in what we do and grind it out. And I think both teams have the same philosophy today.
Well, they've just brought on Mr. Liberal as well here. David Solomona's come on. I don't think he knows how to hold on to possession. He wants his hands on the ball, Eddie. And there's usually fireworks when this guy gets involved.
Paul Wood's on as well. There he is. He just played it there to Monaghan. And Monaghan running laterally, waiting for someone to join him. And it goes over the top, and Atkins somehow hangs on. It's the last tackle. They're still inside their own half. It's back with Monaghan. Heel kick, high, not terribly clever. Straight to Brett Hodgson.
Well, Tony Smith will be fuming over that. Monaghan came across, and not one of his Warrington players wanted to come and have the short ball off him.
Here's Cudjoe again to the halfway line.
They're not at the races at the moment. He is furious.
Not
He's
going
every right
according to plan just yet.
He's every right to be furious because he knows that someone should have gone, come back on the inside, give him the opportunity to offload.
Robinson to Wilder up the middle again here, Failongo. And Morley almost missed the tackle, comes back again.
Barry, do you think that shades of what St Helens did to have success last week, playing again down the middle against Warrington?
I think sometimes your greatest strength is your biggest weakness. Warrington are very big, they're very physical in the middle, and they will sink in. If they think a player is getting the ball, they'll go for him. Matt King making that mistake there, he's going...
It's a try saver, though.
Hicks, making the mistake. But I do, Phil, I think that Huddersfield have come into this match trying to just challenge the Warrington pack.
Well, they're challenging them all right. They're leading by 12 points to nil. And all the talk and dreams of a League and Cup double just evaporating slightly. It's a knock-on though here by Darrell Griffin.
There's a long way to go, Eddie.
Warrington celebrate this challenge.
It was a big hit,
carry by Griffin.
And Ben Westwood been good this year. He comes out and just adds the weight there, just adds the physical contact, just jots the prop forward out. A lot of teams are doing that these days, bringing a big man out of the scrum just to start that momentum, get a quick play of the ball.
All right, here now, let's bang in.
Well, one of the try scorers is replaced by Sean Lunt. Here's Solomona. It takes 4 to deal with the threat of David Solomona. Monaghan.
Ooh, look
that was a
quickly.
poor ball. It dipped in front of Vinnie Anderson. That
He had a little bit of a look. It wasn't the best pass, as you say, but this Giants defence, talk about getting out of the blocks quickly, get into their faces. Just a little bit lost at the moment to Warrington, and it's got to go down to the likes of Lee Breers to sort of lift them.
wonder how much the last-minute injury to Ben Harrison has affected this Warrington team in the opening 20 minutes. Mason for Huddersfield, leading 12-0, 19 minutes gone. Brough finds Brown, Brett Hodgson, Lunt there, and he took a bit of wind out of Lee Breer's sails, I think.
Third, move, Michael, hold, go.
Lunt again, finds Brown. Brown to Darrell Griffin. Griffin gets to the 10-metre mark on the 4th tackle, plays it to Danny Brough. Here is Hodgson, he slides the kick in, it bounces everywhere, they're in again, it's Gilmore. He's going to give it, is Phil Bentham. Gilmore has come up with the 3rd Huddersfield try. Well, who would have tipped this? And the Warrington supporters, their heads are down. But Lee Gilmore, well, it was a lovely little kick through. It caused confusion all over the place, and the ball bobbled and bounced, and there was a bit of foot skills, and Gilmore comes up with the try, and it's his first playoff try, look, since 1998.
Short blind side, Hodgson with a neat little kick through, and boy, didn't he reach out for it. They are stunned. The Wolves don't know what's happening to them. Look at that defence, they're hanging back, no one's going into it. Great dribbling from Gilmore, no doubt about it. Try number 3 for the Giants, and boy, it's very quiet at this side at the Warrington Stadium, but behind the post at the far end.
There's Ken Davey, the chairman of the Huddersfield Giants, with his his hand just on his chin. I don't think even he could believe this. This is a tremendous start that his team have made.
Fantastic for the Giants. You know, Eddie, there are times in a season when a team needs the ability to mentally change the strip whilst going through a game, and I think that's what Warrington have to do at the moment. Somehow they've got 60 seconds here now to refresh the mind, refresh the body, and start again, because it's been a very poor start for the opening quarter of this game. Good teams, very good teams, can turn things around midway through a match, but it takes a great side with some strong leaders.
And Hodgson adds another successful kick. 18 points to 0 to the Huddersfield Giants. Warrington in a hole. Huddersfield, well, they're riding high at the moment.
Just good solid play by the forwards. When they get anywhere near, they're opting for the kick. They're doing little different things, run-arounds, using the dummy runner. He'll be happy, Nathan Brown, but he knows there's still a long way to go, don't worry.
Here's Earl Crabtree just on the field. A big hero in Huddersfield is Big Earl. Let's go down to Bill.
Eddie, I'm surrounded by gobsmacked Warrington Wolves supporters who just cannot believe what they're seeing. I'm not sure the bench can either. They're looking up to the box where Tony Smith sits, looking for some inspiration. He's got Chris Bridge out just warming up a moment ago. Mickey Hyam likewise. Do you know, the chill has set in. There's rain in the air. It is definitely autumn. The Huddersfield Giants have come here breathing fire. The Wolves need to turn the central heating on.
That's a lovely little kick from Brough. And Brough just couldn't, Stephen Wild just couldn't take that in. And Huddersfield is saying that he was tackled without the ball by Monaghan.
I think Monaghan knows he's got away with it as well. Neat little chip over the top. Just couldn't get it. They'd have been in heaps of trouble if Brett Hodgson could have got it on the first bounce, but it just went away from him. Stephen Wild it was that tried to get out, but was he held back by Monaghan?
I think he's a right to take him there. He's not got full control of that ball, but...
Another big problem, though, is for Warrington, is the fact that they've missed 8 tackles.
I tell you who hasn't missed any tackles. Little number 7, Luke Robinson. The big Warrington forwards have targeted him at least half a dozen times here tonight, and Robinson has stood his ground and has brought them down. He's having a great game, the little scrum half.
Certainly
or
is.
hooker.
He's already got 8 tackles on the board.
And all 8, Steve-O, against men, twice the size of him. Here come Warrington, though, briefly. Riley just couldn't take the pass in. It was a bit high, to be fair to Riley.
Yeah, not the best from Atkins there. And you can't blame the winger, but that's what happens, and Tony Smith knows they've got to come up with something. They've got to get a score. They've got to build their confidence. But they just can't get possession. They can't get field position. And when you come up with errors like that, it gets worse. They're going to individual play rather than playing to the team plan. Trouble is, they need the ball.
Well, in the Challenge Cup, Huddersfield were woeful against Warrington, and Warrington beat them easily. 60 points they ran into the Gal Farm Stadium. And they beat them here at the Harrywell Jones Stadium a couple of weeks after that as well. They also beat them at the Gal Farm Stadium in the Super League early this year. So they're coming into this match with a home and away double against them in the league programme.
But the tactics by the Giants are superb. Just solid hard work with the forwards.
Here's Wild again.
But look at the position that they're in, so that they can get a good, another drive, maybe the kick.
Robinson again, gets the ball away to Hodgson. Hodgson then over the top finds Gilmore. Gilmore tries to fool Breers, but Breers stands his ground. Last tackle here for Huddersfield. Westwood was in there to help out. That was Lunt. Here is Brown. Now it's Brough. He's the kicker in chief. No doubt about that. Good kick too, this. No, it's just a bit long.
Well, they get back on the 30. Got to get their line in. They've got it quickly. Warrington fans screaming for a penalty, said that the Giants weren't back the required 10. But this is their biggest problem for the Wolves. They are being stopped by this great defence.
Westwood, been such a hero for Warrington this year. Wild saw to it, he was making progress. There's Monaghan. This now is Chris Bridge.
That's better. Good work from Monaghan. A little bit more of that from the dummy half. Tried to milk the penalty.
Monaghan. Ball down by Sean Lunt. Last tackle here for Warrington. John Clark gets it away to Breers. Breers gets the pass away to King. King, great hands. Great hands. Oh, and the pass off the deck. Straight into Lee Gilmore's arms. Huddersfield survive.
Just a little bit too panicky there. Okay, trying to be fancy, but perhaps it would have been better to put the kick in, try to get a second set of 6. They have not been down there all that often.
And that's the gear shift that Warrington have got. You saw they got some momentum, all coming from dummy half. Monaghan in the middle of it. Chris Hicks throws the speculator. I'm not sure Tony Smith and his coaching staff will have had that in the game plan before the start of the game, but like you said, Phil, some teams need the ability to change on the hoof, and I think that's what Warrington have done.
You know what's hard, Eddie, is to play oblivious of the scoreboard. If you could calmly say to yourself, look, we've got 55 minutes almost to score 3 times. But you sometimes you don't think that way, and panic sets in. Good catch here on the full by Riley. Now let's see what Huddersfield have got in defence. Oh,
big hit by Brown and Farlongo on Chris Riley.
We felt it as well. Well, that's the first poor kick that we've seen from the Giants. And it's allowed Warrington to the halfway line already. We've got to build on this now. This is where the likes of Monaghan and Lee Breers take control.
There is Breers in centre field. Gives it to Solomona. Solomona showed it to Monaghan. Dabs the kick through for Ryan Atkins. Atkins will hack it forward. Hodgson is there, though, to the rescue for Huddersfield.
Beautiful play. Solomona, the man that's famous for the offload, puts boot to ball, and it's a belter. He did the right thing, trying to get a kick, and Brett Hodgson, he had the speed. Beautiful play by Solomona. Atkins tried to dribble through and come to the rescue of the fullback. Great stuff.
Well, Brett Hodgson will be here next year in the colours of Warrington, but he is scheming their demise in the playoffs at the moment. The reigning Man of Steel, and there is one of the contenders for Man of Steel on the opposite side of the field, Adrian Morley, and there is the reigning Coach of the Year, Nathan Brown, watching on, and no doubt a contender for Coach of the Year, Tony Smith, in the opposite box. The referee wants Huddersfield to get on with this. Taking the time. Brough with the goal line dropout. Gets it over halfway. Good length. Mathers underneath it. Here comes Paul Wood. Good run from Wood, that. Clark. Ball to Bridge. Chris Bridge, who has discounted himself from the Four Nations tour, wants to stay at home for the birth of his child. Breers, good ball back on the inside to Mathers.
Good tackle by Robinson yet again. Straight round the ankles.
Clark is the dummy half. Here is Monaghan. Now Solomona! They stand firm on tackle number 4, Huddersfield, but the pressure's building on their defensive line. Clark to Monaghan. Monaghan goes wide and finds Breers. Breers thought about the kick through. They miss him once, they miss him twice almost. Knock on by Breers.
It's just not going right for that fella, Tony Smith, and he knows it. Just a little bit too anxious. Trying to get on with it too quickly. Lost control. That's the third occasion that they've got themselves in a good position, the Wolves.
Wanted a quick play, the ball, Lee Breers.
Yeah, and they've come up with the error.
Composure's a word we use a lot in rugby league, and it's knowing at what point you need to play that ball as quick as you can, and at what point you just need to play it in a correct manner, in a correct fashion.
Well, the handling error count is in Warrington's favour. The scoreboard is in Huddersfield's favour, 18-0. This fella's important to them, David Farlongo. 17th appearance this of his debut season. He's never played playoff football before. He had 7 years trying in the NRL with South Sydney. Well, he's in the heat of the battle tonight.
Nathan Brown's been fortunate that the players he's brought on from the substitutes bench have had a massively positive impact on the side. And the new guy's going to get it, Lamb Patrick, who I'd have to say, Eddie, in my opinion, is possibly the most improved player in Super League this year. He really carries the ball strongly.
So does this fella, David Fayumu. Ever present, 13 starts for the New Zealand international, coming off the bench. He plays it to Robinson on the last. Bruff with the kick.
Oh, it's not a bad one either. It's just a trickle through.
And he's asking Mathers to do some work. Oh, Mathers gives it to Riley infield. Deary, that was a risk. I bet Riley saw that and thought, uh-oh.
Well, that's what it is. It's all panic. It's panic, I'm telling you.
They've lost the plot, Warrington.
Yeah, and it's coming from the line speed of Huddersfield. Not only are they controlling the impact, just watch this. They'll control the speed of the play of the ball, but they're getting off the line at an alarming rate of knots. Look at the speed of this defensive line from Huddersfield.
Oh, he's got it away.
He got that away somehow. It's with Westwood. It was a great offload by
but that was silly
Wood,
play.
and they try and offload it again. They lose it. Here is Brett Hodgson. Brett Hodgson was missed by Solomona. He's not missed by Atkins. Well, I thought he got him first time, but then he picked him up and dumped him the second time.
I remember seeing Gordon Tallis do that to him in a State of Origin match.
Hold, go.
Bruff finds Cudjoe.
No frills, no fuss. The Giants know exactly what's happening out there. You can't say the same for the Wolves at the moment.
Danny Bruff wide to Kevin Brown, and Brown comes back up centre field, tackled by Morley and Westwood.
Don't be surprised if they go for a 1 point, you know.
This is Sean Lunt. They're right underneath the sticks now. Crabtree is back. Bruff is there. This is Robinson, who tries to slide the kick in, and Mathers has to take it over the dead ball line. They're going to get another set of 6 here from the goal line dropout.
Danny Bruff is on fire, and so is this fella, Robinson. The trio. This is what happened earlier. I mean, the bad pass. They're just not at the races at all.
Let's go.
And now they've got the dropout. It's all about applying that pressure. We keep saying it, but it's so effective.
Ball went backwards off the fingertips of David Hodgson. Here's Big Earl Crabtree.
And they'll bring another big fella onto it. Sharing the workload here.
Hold, go.
Robinson.
Hands out, Paul.
Fayumu.
2. Move. Hold.
Robinson again. Goes left and finds Brown. Brown further left. Here is Lamb Patrick.
Move.
Sean Lunt waits, dummy half. Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown. Ooh.
That'll be a knock on. It'll be head and feet to the Giants yet again.
I've just had a little thought there that maybe Heim was offside when he picked that ball up.
You know, Tony Smith has to get a message out of it. Solomon
wasn't.
Certainly got a hand to it there, but Tony Smith's got to get the message out there and say, hey, listen, you cannot afford to hang back, and that's what their defence is doing. They're trying to find out what the Giants are doing, but they're allowing him to get over the advantage line with so much ease. Wouldn't surprise me if he scored again.
Just going back to Kevin Brown's run there, he runs across and straightens up and commits a Warrington defender. That's why the desperate Warrington defender ends up putting his hand out and giving a knock-on away.
Here's Brett Hodgson, and Kevin Brown just manages to hang on. Breers gets the tackle in.
That's the second time they've utilised that move on that left-hand side.
Brett Hodgson again, back it comes, and Lamb Patrick will run it back at them and keep going almost through Chris Bridge. They're inching towards the line again, are the Giants. This is Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown is over the line. Is he in? I think he is. The touch judge has gone to the corner. They've got the try. Look at Nathan Brown. And look at the Huddersfield supporters, because Kevin Brown scored the 4th try against the Warrington Wolves. The cup winners are rocking here.
I said that the Wolves' defence is hanging back, and they certainly did on that occasion. They should not have allowed Huddersfield to score on that short blind side. They had enough men there. And how on earth have allowed this fella to sneak in? One step, and look how they're hanging back. What is he going to do? I'll tell you what he's going to do. See that white thing? He's got over for the try. Well, I must say, I'm surprised that Phil Bentham didn't go upstairs on this, but is he... Oh, that's fine. That is fine. The touch judge would have had a good look at that.
He set off to the far corner of the ground, the touch judge, the moment that ball hit the deck, and that's the signal that Phil Bentham was looking for. As far as the touch judge was concerned, it was a try. As far as they're concerned, it's a try. And Huddersfield are leading here by 22 points to 0. And this could be a hole far too deep for Warrington to dig themselves out of.
Well, he's certainly got some magic to produce in his second half. Tony Smith will want them to get into the shed for the half-time. This has been disaster for them. But take nothing away from Huddersfield. They really have bossed the game, controlled it. Good hard work in the forwards. The kicking game's been superb. Only one back kick throughout this first half. Can he add the extras?
And taking nothing away from the Huddersfield Giants, they've been superb, but Warrington look absolutely worn out to me. Hodgson, can he add the extras here? No, just the wrong side of the posts. Well, Tony Smith said he was happy for his team to carry on playing week by week by week to Old Trafford when we spoke to him last week. I wonder what he's thinking now at 22-0 down.
Well, I'm thinking, Eddie, about great playoff comebacks. Not that there's much indication from the body language of the Warrington side that they've got one in them at the moment. But I think we go back to Bradford leading against Wigan, 30 points to 6. So there was a 24-point gap between those sides before Wigan came back under Brian Noble to win it by just that single point. So it has been seen before, but it would take something rather dramatic here.
It's been a fantastic first half thus far for the Huddersfield Giants.
Well, it's near perfect, and Nathan Brown, the coach, will be very, very happy indeed, because his tactics, we anticipated the fact that they would play very rough and tough, and you saw that from the very first minute. They were eager.
Warrington certainly favourites coming into this match. They've got a penalty here, Huddersfield. Steve-O, to his credit last night on Super League extra time, would not discount the fact that Huddersfield could make it through to next week.
And I said the key factor as well, Eddie, would be the return of Keith Mason. And when he started the game, he got through a lot of work. He adds a lot to this side.
I wonder if Huddersfield are playing themselves into a visit to St Helens next week. I mean, at the moment, it's Huddersfield who are going through, but would they pick Huddersfield on this form, or would they, Phil, you'll know this better than anybody, would they pick Wigan?
Well, I hope they pick Wigan, just because of the history and rivalry between those two great clubs, but that's the decision Mick Potter's probably going to have to make in the next 12 hours or so.
We can't discount Warrington yet. They, as you say, they can come back and make this one of the great playoff comebacks of all time, but they don't look like a side capable of it at the moment. This is Brett Hodgson. Now it's Kevin Brown. Brown looking for Cudjoe, and Atkins to the rescue for Warrington.
Well, again, good tactics. Okay, didn't get the ricochet, but the kick is great. The rain is coming down now. It's not the conditions that Warrington wanted.
Phil made the point last week at Snowsley Road. Warrington, are they a warm weather, dry pitch, top of the ground team?
Well, I think the skills they've shown here, look, they're moving the ball wide. We've seen them move before to Riley, and it went in touch because of perhaps the rain coming down. The skills weren't as sharp as they have been. They're awarded a penalty here, Eddie, but you have to adapt to different conditions if you want to win the grand final, and Warrington and the coach are fully aware of that.
3 weeks today in the sunshine at Wembley, Warrington were putting Leeds Rhinos to the sword.
Well, it is so important now. If Warrington want to have any chance of winning this game, they have to score before the half-time break.
Well, they've kept the ball alive, and here is Lee Breers, and now it's with Chris Bridge. Bridge goes down in the tackle. Patrick was there, Robinson was there again. Paul Wood will carry the battle forward for the Warrington Wolves, and gets the ball away to Mickey Hine, but it's been nicked. It's been stolen there by David Fayumu. And Huddersfield come away with possession. Could see where he was going with that.
Well, they had to do it, to be fair. They realised that they're running out of time. They need something to lift their spirits to go into the sheds with.
And we could be guilty of concentrating on how poor that Warrington have been in these opening 38 minutes, but Huddersfield have been outstanding, defensively very strong, and in attack there's just so many claret and gold shirts flooding forward.
Huddersfield are outstanding, there's no question about that.
And they've done exactly what St Helens did to them.
Hold, lads, wait.
Remember, They got off to a good start, Warrington, in that occasion. Oh, that's a great kick through.
And Brough has hacked it further forward. And here is Richie Mathers. And all the Huddersfield supporters who are watching this at home and in the pubs and clubs of Huddersfield and who are here on the terraces will remember that famous win they had in the Challenge Cup on this ground when they beat St Helens against all the odds to get to Wembley. 22 points to nil. It is a match-winning lead, but there's still 40 minutes to go.
And their discipline has been very good. That was the one thing that Nathan Brown instilled into this side when he came over from Australia. Is do your defence good, but make sure the discipline there, and that's not the best kick. Good positioning there by David Hodgson.
Breers went for a 40-20 then. David Hodgson picked it up, gave it to Leroy Cudjoe. Here comes Michael Lawrence. Michael Lawrence trying to go through the gap between Riley and Atkins. We're entering the last minute of this first half. Here is Brett Hodgson, who's tormented his new club, I must say. Tormented them from minute one here tonight, showing the Warrington supporters what they're getting next year. But this is Robinson. Now it's with Brown, and Brown will tap it down the line looking for David Hodgson, and Hodgson hacks it forward, and that's been grounded in goal. That was good work by Chris Hicks.
Yeah, it had to be as well, but what about the footwork? David Hodgson realises it's very, very slippy out there. Look, he said, take your time, just pushed it through. It nearly came off.
The old 1-2.
The old 1-2, yes. I think Liverpool reserves or Man United reserves played on this ground in the early days of it being in existence, the Halliwell-Jones Stadium. That would have graced Man United or Liverpool, who play, of course, tomorrow live on Sky Sports. Here is Hodgson. Will pop it up for Crabtree. A drive to the sticks from Crabtree, a possible drop goal, I wonder. 15 seconds remaining. It would just rub a bit of salt in the wounds. Brough has gone for it, and Brough, I think he's kicked it. He has.
It was always on the cards, Eddie. I thought they might have gone a bit earlier, but what a way to finish the first 40 minutes.
How
listen
fickle,
to this crowd.
How fickle are these fans? Warrington leave the field with boos ringing in their ears. 3 weeks ago, they were the heroes of the world because they'd won at Wembley. Tonight, they're the villains of the piece. Huddersfield have been magnificent. Warrington outplayed in the first half. 23-0, Huddersfield Giants lead. And Warrington leave the field. And no doubt, their coach, Tony Smith, is waiting for them in the dressing rooms. What a 40 minutes.